Hey everybody, what's going on? My name is Terry. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you guys and gals are all doing fantastic out there as per usual. So look, I told myself I wasn't going to make a video about this because I'm not even interested in it myself. I'm not going to upgrade to it or anything like that, but everybody seems to be going nuts over the brand new Galaxy S25 Edge. And frankly, I'm just trying to figure out why, because objectively, it's just a cut down S25 Plus with the premium price tag because it's so thin. Like what? With the camera bump, it's 5.8 millimeters thick, but without the camera bump, it's like what, 5.3? So I'm just trying to understand that here. Okay, like I actually took some notes in Notion, not sponsored by the way. I just love their product, so I'm gonna go and pull those up here just real quick, right? Because I truly am trying to figure out what is so special about the S25 Edge, especially whenever you compare it to the S25 Plus, which right now could actually come out to be about the same price or even a little bit cheaper if you get it on promotion here, right? So again, the S25 Edge versus the Plus, the Edge is going to always be first in the comparison here, okay? So 5.8 millimeters thick versus 7.3, okay, whatever. By the time you put a case on the Edge, it's going to be just as thick, maybe not as thick, but still though, it's going to be a bulkier phone than the stock 5.8. 163 grams versus 190. Now, as far as glass goes, it's going to have Gorilla Glass Ceramic 2 versus Victus 2 that's on the 25 Plus, which I actually will give a slight advantage there to the Edge because in theory, since this is a, ceramic glass-based compound, it should be a little bit tougher than just straight up glass that's like, that's in the Victus 2. So technically speaking, the Gorilla Glass Ceramic 2 on the S25 Edge should be a little bit tougher in theory, but who knows here though, okay? So as far as the SoC goes, the S25 Edge and the Plus, they both have the same Snapdragon Elite processor, but unfortunately though, on the Edge, I guess because of how thin it is -1 efficiency core. So instead of being a true octa-core, it's only a 7-core chip. But honestly though, y'all, in like your average day-to-day use, your average user probably isn't going to notice a difference, if any at all, so just take that point there with a grain of sand, okay? Now, as far as the cameras on the Edge, there's only 2, but good news though, folks, is that the main sensor is the new 200 megapixel sensor from the S25 Ultra, so it doesn't have a telephoto lens, but since you can punch into a 200 megapixel photo a little bit better than a 50 megapixel photo like you can on the S25 Plus, you might be able to squeeze out some more detail from it, but I don't know about y'all, but I have an S24 Ultra here, okay, and I can do the 200 megapixel mode too, but I never use it. I keep my phone in 12 megapixel mode to where it can pixel bin to like get rid of some noise in low light situations, faster shutters, faster photo processing after the fact. So I mean, I don't know if anyone who's going to just keep their S25 Edge in 200 megapixel mode, but I digress. But it does have a 12 megapixel wide angle, so there's that. Now, this is where a lot of people are starting to see a lot of drawbacks from this much thinner design here. Okay, now the S25 Plus has a 4900 milliamp hour battery, whereas the S25 Edge only has a 3900 milliamp hour battery. And you might be saying, well, Terry, it doesn't really seem that big of a difference, but no, it's a big difference. It's a big difference. And here's the thing, from what I know about it, it's not even one of those new silicon carbon batteries to where, yeah, they might be a smaller battery, but they can pack so much density, it's equivalent to a much bigger battery in a much smaller form factor, you know what I mean? So again, from what I know, the S25 Edge is just rocking a standard battery that you would see in any other smartphone, none of this newer tech. So from what I've been seeing on X, it seems like a lot of people that are testing this phone out are seeing that their battery life is nearly cut in half. I don't know how, because it shouldn't be that big of a difference because it's only 1000 milliamp hours, but I mean, if you're a heavy power user like a lot of tech YouTubers are, really pushing the phone, punishing it for as much as they can, then I can definitely see how their battery life could be significantly worse on a thinner phone. And here's another thing too, okay folks, for whenever it comes to the battery life here and everything, it looks like the Edge has 25-watt charging wired, but of course the Plus has 45 watts. So here's the thing, okay y'all, I actually made a joke on X the other day. Somebody posted a new photo of the, a mock-up of the iPhone 17 Air versus the S25 Edge and said, wow guys, look like Samsung is late to the party because Apple's phone is still thinner. And just jokingly, I said, yeah, it's thinner, but if I wanted a folding phone, I would just buy a Samsung Fold. And nobody got the joke. Like, let's be honest here, okay, folks? They're going to make these phones so thin that you're going to have to basically have a case as a requirement just to make sure that they don't bend. Yeah, and I know everybody's saying, oh, but you know, titanium frames, hardened aluminum, all that jazz, glass doesn't bend. Yeah, glass might not bend, but metal still does. I mean, a few years ago, folks, remember Bendgate from Apple? And everybody was swearing up and down, oh, these phones don't bend. And sure enough, yeah, they actually did. Now, of course, materials and of course the way that they make these composite materials now, they are a lot stronger than what they were just even a few years ago. But at the same time though, folks, a thinner phone just means less metal, which means less support, which of course over time definitely could mean some bending. But hey, who knows? I guess we'll have to check out Jerry Rig Everything's video. Whenever it comes to the S25 Edge though, I don't understand why it exists. Like, I guess they can say maybe it could be a beta test for thinner devices in the future. And maybe they're like, oh, hey, we're making this product now so we can get our fabrications ready for this same type of phone in our flagship devices next year, or maybe in the next 2 or 3 years, you know? And if that's the case, I can kind of understand it, but it's still $1,000 for a cut down flagship, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? So if it was me trying to pick between the S25 Plus and the S25 Edge, the S24 Ultra, the phone I have right here, in my opinion, is still one hell of a phone for the price. And especially if it's on sale, there isn't a universe where I wouldn't recommend this to someone, you know what I mean? Especially compared to the S25 line, and even more so, the S25 Edge. But as per usual, folks, my opinion doesn't really count here. It's what y'all think out there in YouTube land. Do me a favor, sound off down below. Do you think the S25 Edge is going to be a good phone for people to actually spend their money on? Or do you think it's more of a novelty so Samsung can say, hey, we have the thinner phone out now first before Apple does? Sound off down below, and I'll catch you guys and gals next time.